What's up, Robbie? These boomers, man, they're at it again. Their gold is going crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Frankly, I'm a little scared.
I'm scared too, man. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Coast to Coast Traders podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Robbie.
What's up, Robbie? How are things going with you, man? You live on the Gold Coast. You've been looking for gold out there, or what?
You know what, man? I would be too scared to buy gold right now, frankly, and maybe that's foolish, but I think it's just so wild how much it's run
Mm-hmm.
since we've last talked about it on the podcast. I don't remember when, but we're at some insane levels, and I'd rather put my eggs in a different basket.
For sure.
In different
For
baskets.
sure. I totally agree with that. If we look quickly at the gold chart here, it's pretty insane. If you look at this is the all-time lows here, since this is as far back as the TOS gives me for data at 105 here. And so now we're at 43.92 on the gold futures.
Yeah.
And if you bought,
here's what's scary, Joe, though, but because 1980s, a lot of things happened there with oil and stuff. Was that the 70s and we had the oil issue, oil pricing and stuff? But if you'd bought gold at the highs in the 80s, it took you 30 years to break even.
Yep.
And if we're in 4,000s now, dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. The best time to buy gold was when we last talked about it.
For real. And it's pretty wild. And like you said, it would take you 30 years to break even here. If you bought the 2011 peak following the financial crisis, it would have taken you, from 2011 to 2020. And then it just consolidated here. And looking at this on a yearly chart is this area of consolidation looks so obvious now for the breakout. Oh yeah, if this was a 5-minute chart, if this was a 5-minute chart, I'd be like, oh look, they just swept under that prior candle low, they closed up above. I'm gonna get in right here, risking this candle's low, and and what is that? That's it's 213 points here, but look at this thing.
I'm fairly sure though, Joe, that when we were looking at it last, we were showing from 2020 to current. And it was still looking pretty good on a technical breakout.
Oh yeah, too. It was looking insane, and now it's absolutely nuts. If you had just bought anywhere in this consolidation area here, even we just give you a modest entry somewhere in this area around 1,800, you're up to over 2,500 points here. It's 145% return, which is pretty wild, and that's honestly what I've got, because I bought into the GLD, ETF here. And so this actually is my entry. And I remember buying this, not on a whim, but it was not something that I was really thinking about doing. And then someone shared a chart about a multi-month technical breakout, basically this same thing, but on the monthly. And I was like, wow, that does look like it's going to go.
This looks the same.
I was like, that's really going to go. So I just bought a ton in my long-term portfolio, and I've been sitting on it. And I mean, I just have no intentions of selling it because my time horizon is very long.
Okay. See, that's the thing, though. It's obviously, it's long-term, and it's to hedge against inflation. But what if it comes back down? Well, I guess if it comes back down, it's hard for me to think that it would come back down to your break even.
For sure.
So you're golden, no pun intended.
I am.
But even somebody that's just now getting in, I don't know that I can say, oh yeah, you should go ham on the gold.
No, I would. I think if we went even just down to, let's just say a weekly time frame, this is not the place to buy. And the thing is, though, is on the weekly, man, the volume is really starting to pour in. This. I mean, there was a little bit of a similar look here, right? Super high volume, little hammer candle there, kind of looks like an exhaustion blow off, but it doesn't come back down that far. It just comes down to the prior week low. So just looking at this on the GLD chart, which is the gold ETF from Spider, same people do SPY, right? I would like to see 360 hold. I think that's potentially a good area of consolidation for people to get in. But this is, and of course, we're, speculative, no financial advice here, but this is crazy. I just want to like zoom in on this, man, is look at these, like gap up, yeah, it fills it. Gap up, it does fill it. Gap up, doesn't fill it.
Not quite.
No, gap up, it gets bigger. The gap gets bigger.
Yeah.
Gap up, it's getting bigger. Gap up and like up, still didn't fill it, and then it made this big move to 397, closed the week out at 388. I mean, that candle doesn't necessarily look that great, but that's not really that problematic. I mean, it could totally keep going. And I'm sure if we even looked at this chart, there were some nasty looking candles in here, and then it just went.
Yeah. But what's crazy, Joe, is that post somebody shared on X, people lining up to buy gold. And that's a little concerning.
Very concerning. First things first, I think we should be concerned with the camera angle here at first, buddy. You can do better on that. But now that we got a good view of his nose hairs, this guy's just really, I have it on mute, but this guy's really just talking about, these are all people lined up to buy gold in Australia, right?
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. That's an insane amount of people lined up. You would think they were like, I don't know, trying to get the latest pair of Jordans.
It's for the next iPhone or PlayStation or something. Yeah.
No, they want to buy gold.
Yeah. I mean, I don't ever know that anybody's like I don't know anybody that's bought tangible gold, for one.
Yep.
Let alone, waited in line to buy it. That's wild.
Right. It's a good question, though, is what is Australia's inflation rate at?
Oh, we should have.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because this is the line in Australia. What is Australian?
It's currently 3% according to AI.
Huh. Oh, it says it's down to 2.1% in the second quarter of 2025, 2.4%. Okay. All right, so it's not as if that's an economy that's rapidly inflating. So I don't know. And how much gold are those people buying? If it's $4,300 an ounce, you're walking out of there with a little ounce, half an ounce.
Well, and that's our currency, 4,300 USD, and their
I think it's
their exchange rate to dollar. I mean, obviously they're going to pay in their own currency, but the exchange rate to dollars is not good. I haven't looked at that probably since the early 2000s because I used to have a graphic design colleague that was in Australia, and I remember when they were paying for Adobe Photoshop software. I just remember kind of holy molying when they would say what the prices were in Australian versus USD, and it's like wow.
So $1 Australian is only 65 cents in the United States. So basically, you can go down there and have a pretty good vacation. A lot more for your money.
Yeah.
A lot more for your money down under.
Right. Yeah, so they're paying $6,800 basically.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money per ounce.
Yeah.
So if speaking of inflation, right? If we look at inflation rates and you're familiar with the rule of 72, right?
I wasn't actually.
So
I was familiar with the rule of I was familiar with the rule of 72, but not the one that you're just about to get.
Yeah. So why don't you explain real quick what the rule of 72 is, and then I'm going to explain the rule of 70.
Yeah. So the rule of 72 is basically just telling you how much time you need for your money to double, and that's something that some people use a lot in investing because obviously we want our money to double and work for us while we're passively adding to our portfolios. But I've never thought of the opposite. Right.
So rule of 72, like an example would be if you're getting an 8% return annually, it would take you 9 years to double your money, right? 72 divided by 8 is 9. So the rule of 70 is if you take the current inflation rate and you do 70 divided by that current rate, whatever that number is going to tell you the number of years it's going to take you to basically have your buying power cut in half. Right. So what I did here was just pull up, this is in the inflation rate data from Investopedia. And if we look at 2008 until to now, we have an average of 2.45%, right? Which is just a little bit ahead of the Fed's inflation target of 2%, right? So Obviously 70 divided by 2 is very easy math. If we were at the Fed's inflation rate target, it would take us 35 years to see our buying power cut in half. So that's that's something to definitely be concerned with, in my opinion, because if I'm looking at and planning for retirement, what I can buy now and what I'm spending now is only going to buy me, that half as much in my retirement, retirement years, right? I'm going to be 38 this year, 35 years. Puts me over my 70s, right? I don't want to be thinking about money. I want to be just thinking about enjoying what I have left, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and for example, if you're thinking only about what prices are now and say, okay, if I retire now with what I have, I think I'd do okay. Well, what is okay now might be like just barely scraping by,
Right.
20, 30 years from now.
Right. So, and because we're above the Fed's 2% inflation target, if we look at this, our buying power in 28, based off of this average, in 28.6 years, your buying power is cut in half. So that puts me, basically starting retirement, right? So this is why when the inflation was at 6.5% and 7%, it's very concerning, because that means, if this was to continue on, and that was still quite scary that it was basically the same back-to-back years. So if you look at this 2-year period and say basically, okay, it's going to be a little over 10 years. So in 2031, my money's only going to go half as far as it is now. It's deeply concerning for most people. And I know that a lot of companies, interestingly enough, only give between a 2 and a 2.5% raise a lot of the time for just standard raises or what have you, which basically barely keeps you in line with inflation. You're not actually getting any more money. You're just doing this. You're just maintaining the status quo.
Yeah, and of course underperforming in 2021 and 2022.
Big time.
So yeah, it really makes you think about that and how we need to really be on top of our budgets and our spending habits and stuff to like not fall
exactly. And I think the other side of that is putting more effort into how do you get a bigger return on your money, whether it's making investments, setting aside money for investments, as most people don't save in America, and how do you increase your earning potential. Sorry about the dog that they're playing now. I got the new one Cooper causing a ruckus. But how do you increase your earning potential so that you can earn more than just potentially getting the standard raise? Because if you just sit back, your life as it is now is basically on coast mode if inflation hits target. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good commentary on that, because I don't want to just be complacent.
Right.
But at some point, you will lose the ability to drive more and push harder as we get older.
Sure.
And everybody's gonna have to slow down at some point.
100%. So,
but what if, Joe? What if the total supply of money, what if we just printed $300 trillion in 1 second? What would happen?
Oh, it would be like whatever that country is, Zimbabwe or whatever, where you would buy a loaf of bread for $3,000 or something. You would.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bring that up is because PayPal has a crypto partner who somehow minted $300 trillion worth of stable coins by accident. Oh, oops, our bad. And then they supposedly burned them. And so it's one thing to invest in Bitcoin, because at least I know with Bitcoin, those can't just be doled out and materialize out of nothing. You have to earn those through mining with really, really powerful hardware these days. It's not it's just not feasible for the average person to buy the equipment to mine Bitcoins these days. Back in the days, we were using even consumer GPUs and people were making decent money.
And buying a pizza with it.
Well, they made a killing if they were still holding. Of course, yeah. But now you have to have farms. And so it's just not something the average person can do. But for these people, and stable coin of all things, what they are trying to rope us into, this gives me absolutely zero confidence. And I'll just tell you flat out, I don't think I'll ever own crypto as any type of investment strategy. I don't think I'll mind trading it, but I'll never own it.
I would love to get a crypto expert on and talk to them about it, because I just go down, and people have probably heard me talk about this before. I go down these rabbit holes with how can crypto have any value at all when its value is derived based off the dollar. So how can you tell me how much crypto is worth because you're going to tell me that in dollars? Like, you need the dollar in order to have crypto. It's like they're symbiotic, in my opinion. Now they they need each other to exist. So it's like, I don't get it. I need a crypto dude to break out the crayons and explain it to me.
I've tried watching some stuff. There's people that are super bullish on it, and they're like, "Oh, I think it's $1 million thing. Buying in the 100,000s right now. It's great." And I think these guys are just all millionaires where it doesn't really matter to them, and they can just casually do that. And obviously, you or I, we're not going to go out and just buy one Bitcoin at spot price right now, whatever that is. We would be buying fractions. But I don't see it, man. I think I'm on the same boat as you. I don't really think I don't understand why we've given it any value at all.
I'm thinking the same thing, dude, for real. And this chart is one that I often bring up just because if we just go max available, we'll do month. So, when we were just talking about inflation rates, right? And when Bitcoin hit this all-time high right here, it was in November of 21. Yeah. So if we go back here, November of 21, it was, at the end of the year, it was 7%. You look at what inflation was the next 2 years. So the next 2 years, the inflation was, 10%. Right? If we go back to that, if we look at two.
But how about those crashes, though? Like, if you bought the highs on those.
For sure. And people, man. And you know what? And I'm sure people probably do the same thing they would do with a big SPY correction. They would be, buying the dip and holding, right? But yeah, it's a 78% drop. But then when it broke back above this all-time high, right? Inflation had eaten away at 10% of your value, right? So of your money. So you needed, it actually didn't go back to true break even around here, which was almost at the end of that year. So you could probably argue that if you bought the high or if you were holding it here, you were not really break even into almost, maybe $82,000 because inflation had eroded the value of your dollar. So, and I mean, and then that's a good point too for the gold chart we were looking at, right? Like, if you bought in the 80s, like, it took you way longer than just the actual break-even price because of your earning potential had been cut. I mean, sorry, you're not earning potential, sorry, your earning power.
Yeah, but just looking at those candles though, like just from October 2020 or 20, is that 24? Yeah, those are the most stable candles that we'd seen in a really long time. That was actually, like, if that was a smaller time frame, like you were saying on gold, it's a very actionable chart to trade on.
100%. 100%. This was the cleanest. I mean, look at how tight these candle bodies are to just a monthly level. But if you bought the top, you weren't break even for basically three plus years. And this, I mean, that's not a long time though. It's better than 30. It's better than 30, which was probably closer to 50 when you think about inflation. So, all right, man. Yeah. Well, let's move on from that, I guess. And we got this. Want to talk about this funny ticks? Yeah,
talk about some prop business. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. Funding Ticks gonna let you have 12 live accounts. Is that the first in the industry that's gonna let you have multiple live accounts?
I think so, actually. That's kind of crazy because I feel as if Michael Patek and other prop firm owners, when they talk about moving you to live, it's built upon this prestigious thing that you are a real futures trader, right? And because you've signed this contract, right, it's the real deal. So how can you be the real deal 12 times over, though? Like,
well, I mean, I don't know, but I'm interested to see, how that pans out. I think it's pretty cool. I've been using Funding Ticks for a while. We have a code for some prop firms that we've been using. But this is definitely one to watch for. They're one of Tradeovate's premier partners as far as the whole Tradeovate prop thing that we talked about. What was it, last week or the week before? So yeah, they're not a fly-by-night operation because their parent company, they've been doing crypto for a long time. So they're one of the bigger companies out there. So I thought that was really interesting to share.
I think so too. And I hope that somebody who's watching this becomes the first, 12-time, live trader And the most prestigious 12 times over here. So,
yeah,
definitely,
that'd be pretty cool.
Definitely. The Tradeify Grand Cup. Very interested in this. I did sign up for this, so it doesn't start for
November 2nd, I think.
Yeah,
21 days.
I don't know if this is updated or not.
Knockout round starts November 20th.
Yeah.
Or November 2nd.
So I did sign up for that.
You want to play that video, Joe? Or do we want to just talk over the?
Welcome to the
I have all the stuff right now.
Grand Cup. A $200,000 Grand Champion reward, $1 million in total prizes spread across 400 winners, and you keep 80% of every dollar that you profit during the live
this has to be something that they were cooking up for a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Here's how the eliminations work.
And maybe it's
Week
just
1,
coincidental
trade,
that
compete,
it came
build your
pretty
account.
close after PW's deal with Legends Trading, I believe. They had that tournament recently.
Yeah, they did. I didn't see how that tournament played out. Is it still going on? The one with PW?
No, it's concluded. Yeah.
Anybody like that's well known win it, or just?
I didn't pay attention to who won actually. The only thing that I paid attention to was oh wait, yeah, wasn't it Matt, the guy that called out?
That it's that competition we talked about last week. Yeah. It was that Matt guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, he can back it up. I mean that's a good thing to see. Mm-hmm. That is a good thing to see because that guy was calling out. He was calling out Lance, and then he goes and wins this trading competition. It's like, okay, this dude can trade.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So if anybody had any doubts, like, this is where Lance could have come and been like, okay, you little twerp. I'll show you. But he didn't, so I don't know that he trades futures. I think he does small caps and big caps or whatever, just stocks. I don't know that he does futures, but I don't know. I'm disappointed that he didn't rise to the challenge and at least verify for the sake of charity.
I'm disappointed as well, especially since he's a big charity guy. So I want to just what's the story here? What's the story? So let me finish playing the rest of this video.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the end of week 1, all remaining traders advance to week 2.
Maybe everybody should just kind of get a feel for what they're getting into if they're interested. But basically, if you have an account with Tradeify already, you get a free account. But if you don't, then you can pay $35 to get.
Yeah, so that's an interesting rule that they're saying is basically the bottom 30% of traders will be eliminated each day in week 2. So, boy.
Yep. And then at the end, the top 200 go to the live grand finals.
Eliminated. Survive the daily cuts, and at the end of week 2, only the top 200 will advance to the live grand finals.
If they're saying the bottom 30, the bottom 30%, so they whittle it down to the 200 people. Okay.
Stage 2, the live grand finals. The top 200 traders move to real live funded accounts. The trader with the highest total profit over those 2 weeks becomes a grand champion.
Grand champion, $200,000. Second place, $120,000. Third place, $80,000.
So there's a prize pool plus you keep 80% the top 2 people. Or actually, it says.
Knockout round
starts
November
November
2nd. This is your shot. Are you ready?
Very interesting here.
Traders keep 80% of their earnings during the live grand
that's very
finals.
Interesting. So you move to stage 2. It can't be. There's got to be a gap in this because they can't. There's the move.
Yeah, it sounded right because they didn't say stage 1. They went from week 2 and like the 2 people moving to grand finals, and then they just said stage 2. But still, I mean that's a really cool competition. Love to see it actually, and I don't think I'll be trading. Bro, I'll be honest. I have no chance. I have no chance. There's going to be some phenomenal traders going at this, and I'm not even in the league for the week 1, bro.
You never know with these things though, man, because you can hit some really good trades. You can have some, just really great execution, and then you can get some big name traders, like Tori, who can't accept that she's wrong and blows up, dude. Except that, because this time there's even less on the line. It's not her real money, so that's a thing.
We don't know what the rules are as far as drawdown or consistency, anything about that just yet.
Right.
Not that I've seen.
Right.
Anyway.
So I mean, it's going to be really interesting to tell. I would imagine these are probably account size is 50K. I was just going to say, and the reason I was going to say it's 50K is because if they're going to end up moving you to live, they don't want it to be that you made a crazy amount, right? So, with like a 150K or whatever, and then even still under 5K in profits, you have only 2 minis. So you have to do a lot with a little at first to get up to 10% of profit on the, the account, really get 5K in profits. So,
yeah.
All right. So you have to come in at least 400th place in order to make $300. All you have to do is be in top 400, bro.
Which, now that I think about it, is that does that even cover their cheapest?
I don't think so.
Straight to funded account.
I
didn't think so either. But that I would have wished they'd
right.
Have done
I know,
that.
right? And so then,
yeah,
there is a 2-week gap here.
Lightning funded 209 for their 25K,
Oh,
305 for
okay.
50K. So all right, you can get
okay.
all right.
So 200. If you win the whole kit and caboodle, bro, it's 200K, and then California will tax the hell out of you, and you get like 90.
Right, but then of course, whatever these guys make, they're keeping 80% of the profits. On a
That's crazy
basis.
too. So like you could, let's just say in theory, you make 50K. You're gonna keep 40 of that on top of the prize money. At least that's wild. Keep your
dude. Let's guess. What do you think the top? What do you think like the upper echelon of traders? What is the profit?
Okay, so like,
I think it's going to be well in the 6 figures.
You have 2 weeks there and 2 weeks there. You got to start out. Whoever gets over the scaling rule first will have a serious advantage. And anybody who's thinking about this logically will have thought about that. So this is why I think you're going to have a lot of traders potentially blow up. Is Mondays are a notoriously choppy day. This competition starts on a Monday. People will be thinking about, how do I max this thing out with, as fast as possible to get over that 5K. And that doesn't, and I don't even know if that's going to if that's built in systematically and is going to trigger on once I get over it, or if the day has to close out. Right. So
that's fair.
But I think that people will try to stretch trades for too much on a choppy Monday, get frustrated, flip flop, blow up. Like I could see that happening.
Yeah. It's gonna wipe
and
out
then that's it. You're out. So I think it's really going to be about, being conservative and locking up the wins at first, whatever, and just letting that stack. But
see, what I don't know though is once we hit the grand final stage and they move people to live, what are they moving them to live with? Is it as if we're in this sim funded stage and you move capital over, or did they say how much they're starting you out with? Oh, it says right there.
Yeah, it's a 50K. It's a 50K account, and you're gonna have to scale it up again. So they're basically starting you out with a $2,000 account. You lose 2 G's and you're done.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But it's I'm sure it's probably gonna, it's gonna because this hold on. This makes it seem like this is a trial knockout round thing, right? And when you get here, you're starting back at 0, and then you'll keep 80% of your profits. So I think
exactly.
So are we saying, what do we think the total will be when you add up both rounds?
No, I'm just saying the people that are in the live grand finals what's the upper tier of P&L that we're going to see? I think it's going to be in the six figures.
In that
I'd be surprised if it
2 week
wasn't.
period, I would be surprised if it wasn't too. I would be genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, and I would also like to say that I think our European friends have a serious advantage on this one, because they're going to be up for the London Open, and there have been a lot of moves that occur, a lot of big moves that occur based off of that London Open, and regardless, they'd be up,
Yeah.
you know, all the way through to the New York session. So I think they're going to have a little bit of an advantage versus somebody like you, who you basically would have to flip flop your whole schedule.
Who has to wake up at? Yeah,
Because-
exactly. Yeah, because they're trading the later half of their day if they want to keep trading the New York session. Somebody like me, or heck, what if you were in Hawaii, bro?
If you're in Hawaii, you gotta get some blackout curtains and sleep during the day because you're gonna be up all night trading. So I would agree. I think 6 figures is definitely possible. I'm gonna say that I think the winner of this thing probably comes in around. I'm gonna go with 116,000.
116,000. I'm gonna say 185. No, 184 to 250.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be some crazy days, dude. Yeah, you know, you're gonna get up there.
Yeah, and dude, hey, all we need is the commander-in-chief to say something wild.
Yeah, dude. All he needs to say is, "Now is a good time to sell," and that's it, dude. It's game over.
Yeah. I mean, it was last Friday, right? Was it the 10th or was it this Friday? It's kind of a blur because I feel like it's just
It was the
hitting us
10th.
left and right.
It was the
But
10th.
we've had some pretty wild
Yep.
days. Okay, it was the 10th. Yeah. Man, I mean, somebody could have been in a position already thinking one direction, and then that's the kind of luck you want to have in a trade. Not because it was I'm lucky that I got in this random trade and it works. You had a thesis, and then luck, threw you across the room, and
Right.
you landed in a pile of money.
Right. Yeah, this is here's the SPY week. And this is actually the SPY month. We go to the weekly. Yeah, so I mean we had the down week, we closed in the middle of it. Ooh, that's very interesting too. We put an inside week doji candle on a bearish engulfing. And this week, what do we have kicking us off? We have Tesla earnings and Netflix earnings.
And potentially we have a lot of economic news that's waiting for us as soon as the government stops or reopens. And are they going to trickle that out? Or are they just going to, all right, here's all the news, just dump it on one day?
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
We could definitely have some crazy markets, man. The volatility had peaked too. I mean, what did the VIX hit? I didn't even remember the number. It was like let's see, 28, almost 29 overnight into Friday morning, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, there was a rejection there, support on the market, and the market just rallied all the way through the London session. It tried to sell off, it failed to sell off under the London orb low in that first hour or so of trading, and they bounced it back up, and it went. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I still feel like we want a bigger pullback, but
I agree.
We'll just have to wait and see. Yep.
Yeah.
So moving on, we got some interesting news from Elite Trader Funding. And this actually popped up on my radar a couple weeks ago when they were saying that they're going to completely block any trade copiers that aren't built into the platform that you're using. So for instance, you'd pretty much only be able to copy trade if you're using the TradeAvid copier. And then they've done a little bit of backsliding here to say, that you can use TraderSync and in Tradecopia, which I know TraderSync, but I don't know who Tradecopia is, or
I haven't
heard of that company yet. Replicanto is a really big one that a lot of people use for offline purposes, and it's interesting that they're blocking that, but they're also working with them, which sounds to me like they're saying, "Hey, we'll let your traders use your software, but we want you to share data."
Do you have any ideas on why they might be blocking Replicanto? Because I've got one.
Well, yeah, because the whole node thing, like, you could theoretically set this up where you have one system that is, say, the server, and you have all your buddies connecting to your node. They're running Replicanto on their end, and then somebody's running the core server, and then whoever the quote, master trader is, they're doing all the work, but everybody else is just copying off of them. And I mean, this seems like it's been well, apparently they're making it seem like
Right.
this is a really
Yep,
huge
that's what I
problem
was
for
thinking.
them. But if that's the case, wouldn't we have heard this from other players as well?
Yeah,
It's pretty interesting.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just doing something differently at other firms to try to audit for that or stop that. Maybe they're, they have something in their back end that looks at all of the orders that comes through and tries to link up, orders that have the same exact time frame. I mean, it sounds pretty daunting, but like I would just think if you dump everything into like a massive spreadsheet of all of the orders that have ever come through, and you just look at anything that has the same exact like time frame from multiple users, and then you just like, let's say you find the examples of that on any given day, 10 times, and then you start linking, okay, oh man, 8 of these are the exact same accounts, 8 different people every time. Yeah, they're probably, and then they start questioning it more. But
well, I feel like I agree with you, and I feel it wouldn't be that hard for them to figure out. And they're already saying that they're going to automate this, so it's like once you have the system in place to detect this, I mean, frankly, if it was me, I'd be, hey, thanks for the free money, because we're gonna find these people and we're gonna deny payout and block them, and thanks for the
and then they're gonna really stifle their own earning potential.
I mean, so long as you're upfront and they are upfront about their policies. So if people are going to take it upon themselves to break the rules, then you're going to face consequences.
Yeah, it seems fair enough. It seems fair enough.
Yeah. And moving on, we talked about gold hitting really new highs, but there's a lot of sectors that are putting in some work right now, Joe.
AI, robotics.
Robotics, quantum, and it just it's reminiscent to me of 2020, how you could have almost picked any stock for a swing trade and made money. That's how it feels like on a lot of these names. And it feels very bubblish to me. I mean, and I don't know, I guess that's all I really want to say, but like, it's one thing that's cool about it is that it's easy to see more than ever nowadays how a lot of these industries are interrelated. And if you are at least aware of one industry making moves, then you can trade alongside them to say, okay, you know what, I want to be on the software side, I want to be on the hardware side, or I want to be on the chip side, and then you can invest or trade those companies and still get a good chunk of the move, because everything's kind of moving in unison.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of those times too, though. I look at this and I'm just like, wow, geez, I wish I would have, put more into this. Because I do think that this, a lot of the robotics, like the Tesla bots, are really going to be the future. But I didn't think about this year, dude.
Yeah, but so here's a question. You have a lot of companies, no-name companies, that are making huge moves because they're simply in that space. So is this a situation where you try to pick one and hope it wins? Or are you going to wait for this technology to mature and find out who the real winners are in 5 or 10 years, and then add that to a long-term port? Like, are you buying anything to hold? Any of these small companies buy and hold for long term, or are they merely
right? That's a great way of putting it, man. Because that is the part that makes it very .com bubblish, right? Is that in 10 years, how many of these companies will still be here?
Yeah, and especially with AI, because these guys are getting hundreds of billions of dollars, and there's pretty much no revenue coming in. It's just all speculation that this is going to generate something that's wonderful and people will buy and pay for. But for me, I'm just going to I'm waiting on the fence. Like I'll trade some of these, but I'm not buying and holding the ones that aren't well-established players. You know,
Yeah,
Nvidia,
for sure.
Amazon,
For sure.
Tesla.
And it's probably best to just stay in some sort of ETF, or, you know, just look at it as a smaller portion, you know, investment. But whatever, I mean, everybody's got to do their own thing, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Whatever risk tolerance you have.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Don't bet the farm.
So lots of different humanoid robot
Yeah.
makers. So this is just interesting. All the different companies.
Yeah. I saw people posting this on X and YouTube a couple of times, and just another one just to kind of show. The gray ones I think are either private companies or international. I'm not quite
Companies in
positive on
gray
that.
are
I think it might
privately
have said
owned.
somewhere. Okay. Yeah.
Very interesting.
But CATL, they're a huge battery manufacturer. The only reason I really know about that company is because I'm doing a whole house battery solar installation, and I kind of went down a battery rabbit hole for the past 6 months, and CATL is like one of the mega manufacturers of
You fell
lithium
into a
iron
lithium
phosphate
mine,
batteries. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, so the only thing with this and the chips and all that is this chips AI weird loop that exists with NVIDIA. Is it NVIDIA and OpenAI? And who's the and Oracle?
NVIDIA, OpenAI, Microsoft.
Yeah, so there's
probably Oracle too. There's a few. If you want to pull up that.
The only thing I have
thing.
is the Stooges thing. I'm missing that one. I can't remember.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I thought I sent you the article on Barron's. Okay, well, I got.
We're trying to find this, folks.
Sorry, bro.
Hold on.
Yep.
There we go.
So here's one. And then let's see here. Oh, you know what? Why don't you play the Stooges clip?
This is basically how it seems.
Worst break I ever had. They all owed me money.
Quiet, porcupine. And speaking of money, how about the $20 you owe me?
Oh, yeah? Well, I only got 10, so here's 10, I owe you 10.
Thanks.
Hey, Mo, you owe me 20.
Well, here's 10, I'll owe you 10.
You owe me 20.
Here's 10, I owe you 10.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe
Dude,
you.
that's literally how it seems. It's like, I'm gonna loan you these chips.
Yeah. And I'm going to paste you. Well, dude, okay, so you and I talked about this a while ago when NVIDIA had an insane earnings. Was it CoreWeave that they loaned $50 billion worth of chips to, and then they instantly put it back in? They like borrowed against the chips that they didn't own, that NVIDIA gave them.
Yeah, I think it was SMCI,
it was like
actually, but yes. I remember the story anyways. There was, again, a weird loop-de-loop of like the chips, the borrowing, the loan, it's paid back, here's the chips. Like, it was really weird. This is a good...
Yeah, can you... there you go. Yeah, that's the one. So these guys are just chucking around billions and billions of dollars like it's nothing. And it's everybody's got everybody's hands in everybody's pockets here, just like that Stooges clip. And it's funny because obviously if you're an investor and you see that X company is getting this money from somebody else, that's great for sales, you know. But is it really? Because like they just got money that they gave to company A, that company A gave to company B, and is now giving it back to company C.
I'm looking at this, man, and like it seems like the best place to be for an investor, right? Is of course, and this isn't the total like net ins and outs that that these companies have as a whole, but if you were just looking at this AI circuit here, the best place to be is, of course, here, data center leasing, or I think being here as Oracle, right? Because you're getting 300 billion from OpenAI, you're only giving out 750 million here, and you're only giving out 40 and 106, so you're still left with like $150 billion inflow. So that's because that's a huge chunk. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The weirdest thing. You know who's going to make
Yeah,
a ton of
sure
money
is.
off this too?
But
Is all the insiders, bro. Everybody, all the CEOs, the anybody who's getting large amounts of stock options or shares as part of their payment. Slowly start offloading them. Slowly start offloading them
Oh,
in
yeah, for
compliance
sure.
with the SEC or whatever, and just that's it. You rich.
Yeah. And you know what? When we talked about Oklo a couple weeks back, one thing I forgot to mention is like we're interested in the technology and having lower cost energies, but like it seems also like part of the reason energy's going up is because of data centers, and these guys are getting sweet deals on long-term pricing at low cost to back AI and machine learning stuff. And meanwhile, I'm making a small car payment here in California
So
for
am
my
I.
electricity
It's wild, dude.
usage.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And you and I actually, I recently saw this map. You and I have some of the highest electricity rates in the country. I think Hawaii was the only one higher than us. For whatever reason, like California's super expensive, which is surprising considering all the sun you guys get and everything else. And then New England was very, very expensive as well. Hawaii was the highest. So, yeah, bro. Alrighty, well, unless you have anything else to cover, the dogs are going crazy.
Yeah, well, I want to say thanks for all the new subs. You know, we're well on our way to our goal of 1 million subscribers, so we appreciate that. And if you haven't helped us out yet, you know, subscribe, smash the like button, and if you're looking for a new prop firm to trade, use code Coast to Coast. You know, we only have a couple of affiliates right now because we're not big enough to get on everybody's list right now for approval anyway. So obviously, you know, use whatever code's going to get you the best deal. But if you're interested in using Trade Day, Lucid, Trade Funding Ticks, maybe Legends, I forget. But at least those three, you know, use.
Oh yeah, links will be in the description too. So we appreciate you all for watching, and that's right. We'll see you next time, guys.
See you in
Thank
the next
you.
one.